Hey guys, Coach Curto here from Icons Rugby. This is part 2 of the feedback loop. Part 1 was about how players should go about feedback, and now this is part 2 of coaches giving feedback. As I mentioned in the previous video, I've had players accusing other coaches of giving false feedback or not getting the feedback they wanted. And I had an experience recently dealing with one of the players I coach in Australia around their mental aptitude, and basically this player had received feedback about being dropped after the fact they'd been dropped, which is fine, okay, and then didn't worked on it hard over a week, and then didn't get the result they wanted the next week and missed selection again, okay. And I've had other players in the same boat where they're told certain feedback, they go and work on it, but they don't see the results coming from it. And from a coach's perspective, it really is really hard to give feedback because it's a negative situation. You're telling someone to go work on something that in your game review, you've seen a certain faults and you've gone in a general context, Bobby over here can't tackle. Bobby over here misses front line defense. Bobby over here gets palmed a lot. Bobby over here doesn't identify decision making. Bobby over here does this. And, you put this player in a bracket and you give them your feedback, but it's so generalized that nothing kind of, eventuates from it, and you're not really helping that player. Now, that same situation I was talking about, that player went and saw a secondary coach and said, hey, this is what Coach A had said to me. I don't quite understand what that means. Can you explain it different? Now, this is the beautiful thing about team sport, is normally you have multiple coaches. So you can seek differences of opinion or different ways of communicating to get the same result. And now, coaches, when you're communicating feedback, you really need to go and do 2 main things. It's really only 2 for a coach. Okay, the first thing you need to do is you need to be able to communicate in a manner that the player understands and has something to go away with so that you've done your job. Telling a player that they need to work on their defense is a fucking cop-out. Okay, what part of their defense? When is it happening? How is it happening? How do they fix it? What part, when, where, how? Okay, it's the old proverb that we learn all through school. What, when, where, how? Okay, go into your feedback, write this down, 3 questions, put the title defense. What is it of the defense that is happening? When is it happening? Where is it happening? How is it happening? Give that written format back to the player in writing with your verbal context. Okay? In writing with verbal so that they have 2 forms to move off. Now, secondary to that, use references so that you can basically move forward in this process. So, we're going to do, first point is the comms. Okay, you need what part, where is it happening, when is it happening, how to fix, or how is it happening. Okay, what, when, where, how, whichever order, it doesn't matter, but that's how you've got to put it in. Okay, then what you want to give them is, then you go into, this is the problem, okay, and then this is the solution. Written, so you want to write, and verbal. Now, solution. This is really simple. What you need to do to give them here, after you've given them their written and their verbal, okay, what you also then need to give them is references. Now, this might be in the form of drills, or videos, or some other context for this. This is feedback. Okay? Sitting down with the player or standing there 5 minutes before training or 5 minutes after training going da-da-da-da-da-da is not good enough. In this day and age with communication and technology, you can provide this in a written format. You can give them a call, discuss this, send them the text as you call them, okay, so they get it written. You've also got the verbal there for a phone call, then provide them with references, okay? You must provide them with content so that they can improve, or else you're missing your job. You've got a player in your team who has not got a solution. Telling them the problem without providing a solution is a load of shit from a coach's point of view. Okay? If you don't know how to fix this, seek advice. Seek help. Know what you're trying to achieve. Okay? Talk with other coaches. Okay? This is very, very confrontational. But if you write it down, you provide verbal, you provide them with the solution, it takes the confrontation out of it because basically you're helping this person handle their problem. You're not just giving them, oh, you're no good at defense. You miss tackles. You miss too many tackles. You got to have more effort. And giving someone effort. Effort is fucking bullshit too. Don't ever use effort. Okay, in the feedback, use things like energy. Use things like application. Use things like focus. Use things like decision making. But never effort. Never effort. Okay, you question a player's ability to perform on the field from effort. You're killing their soul. You are killing their soul. It's never effort. Okay? You might need more out of them through energy, not through effort, through energy. Okay? So that is, for me, the number one important thing is comms. Okay? You must have, effective and simple forms of communication to give to a player so they can work on. With written, verbal, and visual help. Written, verbal, and visual. Okay? Because you don't know how that player learns. Second thing, from a coach, okay? Most important thing to feedback is the follow-up. Okay? Most important. Now, for me, this comes around, give them 2 to 3 days, maybe even a day, depends on how you know your players, and follow up with their understanding. Do you understand? Get them to repeat back to you what you gave them. Either through verbal, written, or visual, okay? So you can see that what you've said, they understand. Because if they don't understand what you're saying, it doesn't matter what you're saying, okay? After this period, after maybe the next drill, or the next game, or some kind of context where this follow-up is required, let's use the instance of defense. So the next time you do a defensive drill with the same player, then give further acknowledgement. Sorry if I've misspelt this, guys. It's not my strong point, but I'm working on it a little bit. Okay, further acknowledgement. Now, this could be positive or negative. This can go in 2 manners. Okay, really, really good. You're working on it. Now I've seen this problem with your defense or this problem with what's going on. You need to step it up here. Or, hey, you're really not getting it. How about we do this? Okay, so it's a negative version, taking it and you're bringing it back down another level. Okay, because if that player does not understand and does not have further acknowledgement, they don't progress. And this is your job. This is why you coach. Okay, if you have a team of players who are constantly getting further acknowledgement with positive feedback and moving forward, you have a successful team. And this is what your paycheck or your success is rated on. Okay, is that ability to have that. Okay? Getting kids, even if they're not talented and going, oh, they're not that good, we're just going to put them over there in that bunch. Or this isn't my star player, so I'm going to put it over there in that bunch, is a cop-out for coaches. What a cop-out. It just shows that you don't have the characteristics, okay, to build a team, which is what your job is actually about. A team of individuals, okay? Everything I'm talking about here is rugby, basketball, whatever, okay? You have to improve the individual in the team game so that the team can get better, okay? Yes, it's a team sport, but you're an individual's coach in a team environment, okay? You have to have that in context. Now, my biggest pet hate with coaches is their feedback mannerisms. I hate it. I hate giving feedback myself. But I hate dealing with players. It just irks me to the core that I've got to deal with players who don't have the information to get better, no matter how much they want it. They want it so bad. Oh, the coach said I need to work on my defense. Well, what? Well, this and this and this. The coach said I need a faster pass. So how do you do that? Ask the player, how do you do that? Oh, I don't know. There you go. Your feedback's fucking shit. If your follow-up process, okay, ask the player, do they understand? If they can't give you the exact answer that you're looking for in a context that's relatable to the feedback you've given, you've failed your job. You've failed step one. Step one is your communication channel, okay, to get the best out of the player so that they can move forward. Do you understand? Okay? So, secondary to that for basically the players is if a player understands this, they then know what to expect, they then know how to deliver this, and they then know how to get better results. Better coaching with better player feedback and better player development equals a better team. All right, guys, that's all from me for feedback. If you've got any questions around this, I'd love coaches to get on board and see what they think and techniques they use and how they use things around this. I have a resource if you want around a feedback portal for coaches. It's very similar to a player's one, but a coaching one, if you want access to this, I'm more than happy to give it to you. All right, guys, so that's me, Coach Curto from Icons Rugby. I'm out.